What's up, party people? I'm back, baby. So, as part of this Training Away series, I told you that I would be filming all of my workouts for the 9 weeks that I was going to be traveling, and that is true. I have filmed all of those workouts, and now I'm going to start releasing them all to you. In the end, the last two stages of my holiday, I ended up spending 6 weeks with a huge amount of family time, and it was very, very fantastic. It was great to reconnect with all of them. But as a result, I did not spend very much time editing videos. But of course, I was still training and I was still recording those videos, so we're gonna give you some commentary and show you every single workout I did while I was training on the road. So let's get into it. So, this one here is another workout at the awesome gym that we had at the hotel in Fiji. As usual, I'm still sticking with that high intensity style of training, but I thought while I was traveling, it would be a good opportunity to experiment with a bit of a different training split than what I usually do. I think that while you're on the road, out of your normal gym or home gym setting, you're not going to have access to the same equipment, so all of your workouts are going to be a little bit different and hard to directly compare with your average normal workout with your normal equipment. It's going to be harder to measure progressive overload and really see your progress workout to workout. So I find that it's a really good time to try new things out. So this could be experimenting with new exercises, just being inspired by your new scenery or your new equipment, whatever you have available. For me, I'm both trying some new exercises, but also specifically doing a different split. So, whereas previously, for basically the last year or so before this holiday, I was basically doing a full body split where I would do two different full body workouts per week. And to be fair, full body basically meant that the only leg thing I was doing was like either deadlift or Romanian deadlift. So it's not actually that much legs at all. So it was more like upper body, core, and deadlift. But now I want to work in some leg training again. So I'm introducing a specific dedicated leg day and two upper body workouts. But of course, while I'm traveling, the schedule isn't so rigorous as it would be at home. So while I'm at home, I might do every Monday is an upper session, every Wednesday is a lower session, every Friday is an upper session, for example. But while I'm traveling, my days aren't all exactly the same, and the events and the people I'm visiting while I'm traveling take precedence over a rigorous gym schedule. So basically, what I tried to do was roughly twice the upper days to the lower days. But as you'll see in this series, I, in the end, didn't do a huge amount of lower days because most of my sort of leg movements ended up just being trail running. So the key takeaway or lesson that I want to give you from today's training is just to not be afraid to experiment while you're traveling, while you're on the road, and you're still trying to remain fit. The goal of training while I'm on the road is not to return home in peak physical fitness to hit a new 1 rep max in every single one of my lifts. No, it's not that. It's actually to just sort of maintain the habits and maintain the fire that I have for training while I'm on the road. The benefits we get from training in terms of sort of health and energy and even mindset, they come from actually doing the work, right? So it's important to just sort of keep the habits up, although of course we need to modify them because our surrounding environment is different. So when I'm thinking about training on the road, I'm just trying to make something that's easy enough that I'll actually do it, that like bears some resemblance to how I would normally train. But you don't need to overthink it. You don't need to get too stressed about trying to exactly replicate the exact movement patterns or the exact equipment setup of what you would do at home. So I would say in sort of normal everyday life, the average gym goer, especially the average beginner, because of course most gym goers are actually beginners, the average gym goer does way too much experimentation. They tend to hop between programs before they actually get any results from those programs, and they don't really ever develop any robust consistency that allows for rigorous progressive overload over the long term. And at the end of the day, doing the same thing, but slightly more of it for months and months and months at a time is how you actually make progress. So I would say most people in their normal training would benefit from just picking something, simplifying their sort of workouts, and focusing really on repeating the same thing exactly, but always trying to do just a tiny little bit more each time, and focusing on that long-term progression. But when we're traveling, I think it's a really good opportunity to allow yourself to sort of scratch that itch of the FOMO. You know, if there are some exercises that you've seen YouTube videos about, or you've seen other people in the gym doing, and you've always wanted to try them out, but you haven't had time because you're being good and sticking to an actual program, this is a really good idea to try those. So when I was scoping out this gym, I got super excited when I saw this apparatus. It's like a weird body weight row machine. I guess it's kind of like a reformer in Pilates, maybe. But honestly, it looks a little bit like a medieval torture contraption. But the second I saw this, I immediately thought, dude, I could do some sick one-arm pull-up training with this. The setup was a little bit complicated. In the end, there's basically two handles that are attached on a pulley. So if you only pull one side of the handle, then it just shortens the other hand instead of actually pulling the payload up. So in the end, for the setup, I had to use a carabiner to attach the two handles together because it was hard to pull on two of the handles at the same time, and I get a better grip when I'm actually pulling on the handle. But once I figured that out, this machine was pretty sick. If I had one of these where the max incline was not like 30 degrees like it was here, but instead 85 degrees, this would be an amazing tool for training the one-arm chin-up. I mean, I can just imagine working full range of motion, one-arm pull-ups at any rep range you want without having to do complicated pulley setups or counterweighting or using bands. This would be fantastic. I would be so stoked on this. So I took advantage of it while I could. As you can see here, it's way too easy. I think I get like 19 reps per side. So yeah, I realized, okay, I should have somehow added weight to this. So you'll see in the next video that I figure out how to do that. So this is a reminder, when you're doing high intensity training, the idea is for every set to be pretty high intensity. So even though the weight ended up being way too light, I still tried to go to failure, right? So it ended up having 19 reps where I would have wanted, say, 10, but I still do those reps, right? Just because it is easier and you're shooting for 10 reps. If you get the weight wrong, you still have to do the hard work. You don't just give yourself an easy set. Another option, of course, would be to just quit the set early, make it more difficult, and then sort of do your second set in the proper rep range. I didn't want to do that, so today, one of the things I'm experimenting with is the barbell side bend. So this is sort of like an oblique exercise that I actually see on Kevin Haynes's KH Movement channel, which I'm very interested in doing. Because I've been looking for a way to sort of train my obliques in a progressively overloadable way, and this seems like a fantastic one to do. So today I think I'm experimenting with like the hook grip for the first time, and my God, it feels terrible. I have never done the hook grip before, but props to you guys who can do this. After trying it this one session, I was like, you know what? I feel like my thumb is about to fall off, and honestly, I'm just going to keep trying to do these either with my regular grip until the grip becomes the limiting factor, or adding straps. Wow, that is pretty brutal. So all in all, I did 6 quick exercises. This took me just under 40 minutes. Then I went and did a cannonball in the hotel pool and went to the bottomless eggs and bacon buffet. So thanks for watching, folks. In the next one, we'll see probably a lower body day, I imagine, and give you some more interesting tidbits. Thanks so much for watching. If you're interested in training like the way I do, I have a free program called the 2-Hour Body. Link is in the description. If you want to find clarity in your own training and you need some direction, you can reach out to me for a consult or for one-on-one coaching. Thanks so much for watching. I appreciate you guys. Let's get strong for life together.